والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. قال الله في كتاب الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنما المؤمنون إخوة فأصلحوا بين أخويكم واتقوا الله لعلكم ترحمون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, verily the believers are brothers, and make peace amongst the brothers so that you can be shown mercy. We mentioned the other night, I want to mention again for those who weren't here, but we said that Prophet came with a message to unite all humanity, no matter where they came from, whether they were Arab or Roman or Pakistani, Indian, you know, any of these, all these things that we see today, Afghani, Spanish, all different nationalities, we're all here. The Prophet united us all on one message, to believe in one God and believe in the last Prophet Muhammad, and to believe in the guardianship of his family, Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. So Islam, it goes above and it transcends all these things, because we're all here from all different places, and we're all here for the same reason, to worship Allah. And when we were talking about the rights of brotherhood, one night we talked about brotherhood, then we started talking about the rights. We said first right was forgiving your brother's mistakes, and then we talked about giving a hand to your brother when he is about to fall. Tonight I want to talk about one of the other rights, is treasuring the friendship of your brother. As we said that Imam Qadim alayhi salam, he said that the believer is the real brother of the believer, even though he may have different parents. So our Prophet, he said the most uncommon two things in the last time, the Akhir Zaman, is a trustworthy friend and a legally gotten dirham, or legal money, honest work. These are the two hardest things to find in the last time. He also said in the last ages, before the reappearance of our Imam, that people will pose as friends to each other, but they will have ill will in their heart towards each other. They will act like friends on the outside, but inside they will hate each other. And we have to make sure that we're not like this, that we have pure heart, pure intention towards each other. And this is why it's very good to say the dua from Quran, رَبَّنَا اغْفِرْ لَنَا وَلِإِخْوَانِنَا الَّذِينَ سَبَقُونَا بِالْإِيمَانِ وَلَا تَجْعَلْ فِي قُلُوبِنَا غِلًّا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا رَبَّنَا إِنَّكَ رَءُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ. Oh Allah, forgive us and our brothers in faith who went before us, and don't put any ill will in our heart toward the believers, to remove this ill will. And you are the most compassionate, the most merciful. The Imam Ali alayhi salam, he said that the friends are large in numbers. We may see them large numbers that we have of friends, but the ones that come to our need, and when we are in need, are very few. Think about it. How many of these people on social media, they have 5,000 Facebook friends, or you know, all these 80,000 or 1 million followers on the Instagram or these things, but when they need help, how many of those people are actually going to show up and help them? Who is going to be their friend out of these 5,000 people? If we say, man, I need some money, my car broke down, or you come, who's going to come out of those? We know the number is not going to be 5,000. It's going to be a lot less than that. So we see this every day, and we have to take in consideration, you know, our friends. When we look at this number of people, we have to think, who will really be there for me when I need it? You'll come to realize that a lot of people, as the Imam says, they claim to be our friends, but then when we need it, in a crisis situation, maybe they won't be there. Maybe they won't, maybe they will. We have to look at our close friends, who are the closest ones to us. And a lot of times, especially when you're going to school, the kids, you have like a lot of friends in school, but think about how many of them would really be there for you when you need it. And the thing that makes this strong between each other is we have common belief in one God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have belief in Prophet, we have belief in Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. The Imam, Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib, Allahumma salli ala. He give us the criteria for having a friend. We all want to make friends. Everybody in life wants to have a friend, but a lot of times we don't know how to make the friend. And this is very good, especially for the younger generation. When you want to meet friends, we have everything in Islam, we have something to tell us how to do it. So when we want to make friends, the Imam says, a friend cannot be considered as a true friend unless he is tested on 3 occasions. The first occasion is when we are in need. When we test someone who says they're our friend, will they come help us when we are in need? The second is behind our back. Are they the same that they are in our face as they are behind our back? The last one is after death. So in order to be considered a true friend of someone, we need to be there for each other when we need each other. This means we need to be dependable. We can find this in example of the companion of the Holy Prophet, Hani ibn Urwa. He was in Kufa, and he helped Muslim ibn Aqil, the one who came from Imam Hussein, grandson of Prophet. And Muslim ibn Aqil was welcomed when he came to the city by so many people. They were welcoming him, cheering him, all praying behind him. But when the evil governor came to kill those people, they got afraid. When he came, he turned around, no one is there in Salat. Everyone abandoned him. And that one time, everybody was there with Muslim ibn Aqil, but then they got afraid that they're going to kill me, they're going to kill my family, they're going to kill everybody. They all turned and left Muslim, the emissary of Imam Hussein. They left him all alone. Who stuck with Muslim ibn Aqil in that time was Hani ibn Urwa. And he died on the love of Ahlul Bayt, the love of his Imam, and supporting the emissary of his Imam, Muslim ibn Aqil. And now today we even remember him all the way till now. When we go to Masjid Kufa, there are 2 domes there. One is gold, this is one for Muslim ibn Aqil. There's another one that is turquoise blue color, and this one is for Hani ibn Urwa. And we go there and we remember them, or we do ziyarah for him. Hani was true friend of Muslim ibn Aqil. He didn't leave him like everyone else. They left him in that situation. So we see this is the first thing. Imam says that a true friend needs to be tested on 3 occasions. In the time of need, and the other one is behind their back. So when your friend is absent from you, we need to make sure that they are not talking bad about the other one. And a lot of times we go around to other people and they are laughing and joking together, and as soon as this one leaves, they start talking about the other one. This especially happens a lot in circles of the ladies. Guys do too, but I hear this a lot. The sisters say, oh, I want to go be around, but as soon as one leaves, the other one start talking about this one. And then that one comes back and they're like, oh, well, nice to see you, nice to see you. And the other one leaves, they talk about this one. We have to defend when that happens. Like if you have a friend and he's not here, and then you're around someone else and they're talking bad about your friend, we should stand up and defend our friend and say, no, you shouldn't talk about him like that. And, you know, if you feel that way, why don't you say it when he's here? Why don't you tell him about it and clear the, air between you, as we say, to fix this thing? So we should stand up for our brother and sister in faith. There's a lot of narrations about when they did this in the presence of the Prophet. He praised this action of standing up for the fellow believer who wasn't there. The last one, he says that quality of good, true friendship is to be there for them after their death. How do we do that? We arrange their funerals, we attend their funerals, we pray for them, we set up majalis in their name, and so on and so forth. Every year we make program remembering them. Inshallah, we remember those who lost their lives here last year, and they give the thawab of this majlis, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So, as I said, Islam tells us how to deal with everything. How do we deal with friends? How do we deal with each other? How do we interact with each other? Our Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, when a man comes to see you, we should ask his name. Ask where he is from. Like, where do you live? Where are you from? And he said, these questions between each other will foster friendship. We have to get to know one another. We have to ask each other questions instead of just see each other and we just say Assalamu alaikum, but we don't really know anything about each other. We just know the face and salam and that's it. But we should get to know one another, know their background, where are we from, and what type of things we like, and it will make us closer. The Prophet said 3 things will prove your friendship to your Muslim brother. Welcoming him warmly when you see him, making room for him in the gathering. So we're all here and we say, oh brother, come sit here, come sit with us. And the last thing, call him by his dearest names. We see by this in Arabic culture, it's like kunya, to call someone as a respectable term by their oldest son's name. So for example, my name is Mateen, but in a lot of people, they call me Abu Ali. Or someone has an oldest daughter, Zahra, Abu Zahra, father of Zahra. So they call them by these type of names. We see this, prophets, kunya, Abu Qasim, for example, kunya of Imam Bakr is Abu Ja'far. These type of names, it's like a respectable name and honorable title for people. Or when we see them, we call them, Habibi, Azizi, means like my close friend, or Iranians say John as like one who's beloved. Haji, sometimes we say Haji, or we have friend Haji Mustafa, or Haji Dawood, or Haji, whatever the name, we say Haji as a respectable term. So Prophet said these will help us with our friendship, to call each other by some, respectable name. Our 6th Imam, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he said, shaking hands is the greeting of the resident. So the person that we see all the time, we should shake hands with them. This is completes the greeting, actually. And the one who is a traveler, you don't see them that often, to embrace them, to give them a hug. He said, shaking hands with a believer has 1,000 rewards, just for something this simple. Other narrations say that as the leaves fall down from the trees, when you shake hands with your believing brother, the sins are falling off like in this way. So it's very good to shake hands with one another, and this brings us closer together. Our 5th Imam, he said, respect your friends and consider them to be honorable. Don't interfere with one another in an impolite way. Don't be rude to your friends. Don't interrupt your friends. Don't call them by bad names. Don't make bad jokes with them. We should never let the veil of respect be torn between us. We shouldn't let someone insult us, and we shouldn't insult someone else. And if someone insults us, we tell them, we don't agree with that. We don't joke like that. We don't play in this type of way, but we have to honor and respect each other. Because if we joke in this rude way, I've seen it a lot between people, and they'll say all sort of bad things to each other, but it will rupture the friendship, and it's not proper for a Muslim to behave in that type of way. One of the beautiful gems that we have of narration from our 9th Imam, Imam Jawad alayhi salam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. He says, beware of the company of an evil person, because that person is like a sword. It looks nice, it's beautiful, but it can cause a lot of harm. It can cause bloodshed. And when we look at our friends, if we have a bad friend, people are influenced by the company that they have around them. They are influenced by them. Either they can pull them to do the best of things, and your friends can influence you to do good things, or they can pull you in the direction to have you do terrible things that you have never even thought about. How many times do we see people, they commit crimes and they go to prison and they say, well, how come, why did you do that? And they said that their friends put them up to that, or their friends influenced them, or they wanted to show off to their friends. So friends can influence you in a good way or a bad way. And peer pressure is a serious issue, especially with youth. They have to deal with this a lot. They put the pressure on them and say, oh, you're not cool if you don't do this, or you don't do that, or this thing. And if you want to hang out with us, like the popular crowd, then you need to do this and that. But we have to remember what we believe in, and we have to stand up for what we believe in. They say if you don't stand up for something, you will fall for everything. This is one of the famous quotes. So we have to be equipped with knowledge of Islam, knowledge of Quran, knowledge of what the Prophet said, knowledge of what his family said. And in this way, we'll know how to interact with people, and we'll know when we see something bad, how do we deal with it? When we see something good, we know how to deal with it. So that being said, we have to make sure we choose our friends very wisely. The Imam Bakr alayhi salam, he says that beware of befriending certain type of people. These type of people, don't make friends with them, he says. Do not approach or make friends with the foolish people, the misers, those people who are stingy, the cowards or the liars. He says fools will harm you instead of benefiting you. Misers will take things from you, but they won't give you anything in return. They only want to take, but they never want to help. Cowards will run away from you. Liars will testify, but will not tell the truth. So we should do our utmost when we want to make friends with someone to examine them, to examine the people that we associate with, and if they have these negative qualities, to stay away from them. And don't make friends with people who have these negative qualities. And if we find these negative qualities in ourselves, we have to work on them to remove them, ask Allah to remove these things. So what is the criterion for making friends in Islam? As I said, we have teaching for every single thing in Islam. We have it. Islam is very unique in this way that anything you can think of, we have some sort of sayings and traditions about this from our Prophet and our Imams. We have a beautiful tradition from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa that he quotes back to take from Isa ibn Maryam, Jesus, son of Mary. So he says that Prophet Jesus said to his disciples, sit with someone or keep company with the people who, when you see them, they make you remember God. They make you remember Allah. His logic adds to your logic, and his practice makes you inclined for the hereafter. So from this narration, we learn that when we make friends, we should look for the quality of having a friend, one that will remind us of Allah, one more that will remind us of religion, one that will remind us of hereafter. When we sit together, we talk about good things. We're not talking about nonsense things or bad things. We need to be benefiting. His logic adds to your logic. Sometimes you see something one way, and then somebody else brings us a whole nother point that you never thought of before. It's, wow, I didn't think about it like that. They show you a different side of the thing, and that comes from discussing with each other, and it's very beneficial. You know, when we have friends that are conscious of Allah in their daily life, they will always pull you towards something good. They will never pull you towards something bad. And when they see you distracted by something, and they see you starting to swerve a little bit, we say, you know, Ihdina Sirata Mustaqim, guide us on the straight path. But sometimes we're on that straight path and we start to swerve around here and there. That good friend who's conscious of God, he will grab you and pull you back and say, brother, you are getting off track. Refocus. Come back to this, and they will call you to something good. We can see this in other narration. The Prophet, he says, the best friends are those who help you when you mention a matter, and they remind you when you forget. So this is the benefit of having a good friend. Second thing we learn from this is that when we look for friends, that we should discuss things that involve knowledge, good things, things that can benefit us about our religion, about other fields of life, about all other things. We need to talk about good things, and don't waste all of our time talking about nonsense or talking bad about other people, backbiting other people, or useless things. The third thing we can benefit from this is that we should befriend those people, make friends with those who will inspire us to do other good things. When we see them, we say, wow, I wish I could do that. They are doing a lot of work in the cause, helping the religion, promoting the religion, or they're working in Husseiniya, or they're doing good things. They befriend them and they say, I want to be like that. We should inspire each other. The Prophet said, anyone who becomes friends with others for the sake of Allah will attain a rank in paradise. Allah has made it easy for us to go to paradise. If we go to hellfire, I don't know, we blew our opportunity. Allah has given us so many chances to go, made things so easy for us. We are really unfortunate if we don't take advantage. So we see that from this narration, the one who becomes friends with others for the sake of Allah will go to paradise. That the key component in making friends is for the sake of Allah, for the sake of God. Because most of the time, people, when they make friends, they base it on something else. What can I get out of that other person? What type of materialistic benefit can I have? What do they have? What political affiliation or they have? What status do they have? What wealth do they have? Oh, they have something I like. For example, maybe a kid might want to be a friend with another kid because they have a video game that they don't have, They say, I want that thing. Or someone else says, I want to make friends with that brother because he is close to the mayor or he's close to the governor. So if I'm friends with him and I need some help, maybe he can help me. I'm friends with the chief of police maybe because he can help me, but not for real friendship. When we look at the criteria of being real friends, it needs to be something above this world. Not anything to do with this. Not anything to do with our money, our car, our house, our job. It needs to be for something that transcends all those things, and it should be for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because all these other things, they fade away. Maybe you're friends with somebody because they have a status. They lose the status. Then you're not friends anymore because they lost what you wanted. They had money. You're friends with them because they have money. They lost all their money. Now they are poor. Now the friendship is over because it was based on money or based on status or based on anything else in this world. But when your friendship is based sincerely on loving Allah and loving the Prophet and loving Ahlul Bayt, these things will stay forever between us. As long as we have those, we will always be friends. It doesn't matter if the person becomes rich or becomes poor. It has a status or no one knows him or anything. As long as we have this between us, we will always be friends. Our sixth Imam, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. He gives us a narration that outlines the limits of friendship. He said there's certain limits to the friendship. Whoever doesn't fall within those limits should not be considered to be a perfect friend. And if he doesn't have anything of these, then we shouldn't ascribe or relate anything of friendship to him. The conditions for the friendship are these. The first one, a friend shouldn't hide anything from you. If he's really your friend, he shouldn't hide anything. And he'll be the same person to you in private as he is in the public. It doesn't matter. If he's around you or he's not around you, he's the same person. Whenever you find him, he will be the same with you. He doesn't hide things that can help you. The second is that he should consider your positive characteristics as his own and your negative characteristics as his own. Meaning that if your friend sees you do something good, you have a good quality, or you got a job promotion, or you got a new car or a new house, he sees those good qualities like he got them for himself, and he's happy for you. He's not jealous of you. He says, Alhamdulillah, praise be to Allah that you got that bounty. I'm happy for you, truly. And then if he sees some negative in you, he should see it in himself. because if he sees that person making a mistake and doing something wrong, it will affect him. Like I see that this is affecting myself because you're my brother. And if you're doing something wrong, it should affect me too, that I hope that you will do the right thing. He said, wealth and position shouldn't change him. He should be the same whether he is rich or whether he is poor. He should not withhold anything from you that he has power over. If he can help you, he shouldn't say, no, I'm not going to help you. You figure it out yourself. He should be able to use his ability to help you. The last one is that he shouldn't abandon you in times of hardship. And we think about the companions of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He told them when the night before the battle, he brought all of them there in the desert. He put out the lights. He said maybe they're embarrassed. Maybe they don't want to leave. They don't want to show their face that they're leaving me. But I give you permission, you can go. So he put out the lights, told them to go. So most of his faithful companions, they stayed there. And they told him, you know, that even if I die 1,000 times and I am brought back, you know, all these times, that I will still be here with you. Some said they can cut me and burn me and blow away my ashes and bring me back and do this 70 times. But I will never leave you. I will stay here and defend you all the way until the death. And this is the quality of a true friend. We see the companions of Imam Hussein, they were real friends. And we should strive to be real friends to each other in a way that we support each other in a similar manner. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Imam Ali alayhi salam was telling his companion Kumail, he said, who is your true brotherly friend? He is the one who does not disappoint you in misfortunes. He doesn't leave you alone in troubles and sins. He does not wait for you to ask him for help, and does not let you inform him of your problem. He says, O Kumail, the believers should be the mirrors of each other. When they look at the others, they should meet the needs and settle the problems. O Kumail, the believers are brothers. Brothers should never prefer anything to each other. When he says, he doesn't wait until you ask him for help, means that we know each other so good that we can recognize when someone is going through a problem. And we don't wait until they come and ask us. We say, brother, are you okay? Everything good with you? Do you need anything? Can I help you? In this type of way. And he says he doesn't even let you inform him of the problem. Most of the time we wait until someone comes to us. But Imam says that we should be such good friends with each other, they shouldn't even have to come inform us. We should know, and we should recognize by the signs, because we are so close. We have to ask ourselves, are we close with each other like that? Do we check on each other? Do we write each other? Do we visit each other? Do we call each other? And if not, we have to work on this. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he says, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. A believer is the brother of a believer. He is his eye and he is his guide. He will help him see things clearly, basically, and he will guide him on the path when he is lost. He also said, the most favorable friend to me is the one who shows me my flaws. So a good friend of another one should be able to tell you privately, of course, not publicly humiliating someone, but privately, and say, brother, I think you can do this better. I think this is, you're doing it this way, you're trying, but maybe this way could be more beneficial. Or help and advise them. He said this is the best type of friend. We shouldn't see our friend doing something wrong and just say, let's let him go and continue like that. It's like saying, there's a cliff up ahead and he's driving and we don't stop him. We say, just go ahead, we'll just let him run off that cliff and crash and burn. We have to feel close that we want to guide our brother and we don't want to see anything bad happen to him, so we can tell him. It's very hard to find these type of people. As we said, the Prophet said, in the end times, it's very hard to find a good friend. So we have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to find these good friends. And when we have them, we do as the right of the mu'min says, the right of the believer, to treasure this friendship and be thankful for this type of friendship. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says, unfortunate is the one who cannot gain a few friends, a few sincere friends during his life. But even more unfortunate is the one who got them, but he lost them because he behaved badly with his friends and he lost his friends. So we can see that it's hard enough to find a good friend, a true friend. So we shouldn't drive them away by being rude with them or being bad with them. Imam also, he continued, he said, if you consider a person to be your friend, don't dispute with him. Do not be hostile or angry or mean with him. Don't ridicule him. Don't make fun of him. Don't quarrel or argue with him. Don't make indecent jokes with him. Don't hold him in contempt and consider him to be low. And don't claim precedence and supremacy over him. Don't think that you are better than him or that he is lower than you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to secure good friends in this world. And we ask that he protects us from acquiring the bad friends, the evil friend that Imam Jawad alayhi salam described, that it is like a sword, that it is beautiful, but in reality can lead to our destruction. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he grants us true and sincere friends who we can consider as our brothers in faith, who always support us, who are always there for us, and those that we can find comfort in talking with. ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. Oh Allah, forgive us and our brothers who came before us in faith, and clear our hearts of any ill will against our believing brothers. You are the compassionate and the merciful. Dua Faraj, inshallah. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة بن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا محافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكناه أرضك توعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على